We've made many small improvements to our RVs throughout the years that add convenience and help the adventure go a bit smoother.
Some better days, huh?
Yeah. Travel isn't always easy, so a focus on improving the small things can help the day-to-day of RV life and make any space a little more comfortable.
Oh yeah. Good. It's fabulous.
Now that we have a new to us 30-foot Airstream Globetrotter, we're getting it ready to hit the road this spring. And we wanted to tackle simple DIY projects we've become accustomed to.
I can just go into network and I can just choose hotspot or Starlink and then boom, it connects. Stream Netflix, all is good.
We'll get to the big upgrade soon, but for now, let's start with the little things that make a big difference.
I'm like Michelangelo with this thing. So if you're wondering what the very first mod is, and maybe that's too strong of a word, it's this right here. We are tackling the small, do-it-yourself things that create some level of convenience or maybe reduce a huge amount of annoyance. There's nothing more annoying, and I know if you can relate to this, than like your fresh water, or in this case the stabilizer is the fresh water, where there's a lock and you go down to put in your, you go down there to put your fresh water in, you're like, then you go back and you walk around the RV and you grab your keys. I don't know why this annoys me so much, but it does. Okay, so this is operating the stabilizing jacks. So I'll be popping this thing off. I'll put on my thumb locking one, so it'll just be right in here. Should be pretty simple, and just got to do it without cracking any plastic, and I'll keep you posted on that. Hi.
You need to hold a phone for you?
Okay, there, easy.
Oh wow.
Look at that. So all I did, and you could use a pair of pliers or even now that I'm thinking about it, even a little screwdriver, just pop in on the top and the bottom. I put it in the locking position to get them out of the way, and then I just popped it out. So let's see. So simple. Let's see if now the new one has this, which is pretty nice. And I might have to, let's see if I can get it off. Ooh, easy. Okay, not so fast. This is not maybe as simple as I thought. This is the original one. You can see the design on that.
Oh, a little notch.
This is the new one.
No notch.
No notch. Now, I believe I did this on the bus too. When we were in St. Louis at the Gateway Arch, Caleb and I tackled this. And in some cases, depending on your RV, you might have to have that notch. So I think what I did in that case is I pulled this off, which took a little bit of effort to get rid of that. It's not riveted on there, but I forget what kind of fastener that is. I pulled that off and I used the existing so it lined up. The other option you could do is take this screw off right here and bend it, but that's quite a lot of bending. So I think what's happening here is it's hitting the very top of the notch inside there, and that's why it's going like that. It's rubbing on the top. So I got a couple options. If it's lining up, I could take a grinder and just grind that off and it would still reach, or just deal with it making that little pop.
It's all about mindset, babe. Maybe that pop, maybe that's satisfying.
It's not satisfying, it's annoying, but it's less annoying than getting the keys. So
Okay.
I just wanted to bring that up just so that you know what you're getting yourself into. If you do that, that little jog over might be essential for you. So I'll see how they all are, but that's it. So kind of simple. Ooh. Oh,
Whoa.
that's definitely gonna require something. Look at that.
That's a baby.
Because this doesn't have a big hole. This has just a little bloop doohickey.
You know,
That's gonna work. I think that's gonna work.
okay, great. But can we do it like a little bit safer? Can you throw it on the back of your
Safer
truck?
can you get? I got my vest on.
I just want to put a little thought into it. You're tackling this like I tackle painting a room. You just start.
Put some thought into this, babe. Did you just see all the thinking? There's thinking happening every minute of this.
No.
Okay, now this one was a little bit harder to get off because it's the fresh water. So as you can tell, it's kind of rusted. So I bent this a little bit. I did the best I could getting it bent back. Now, take this off. Here's the one it came with. This is the original one that I popped off with a couple channel locks. The little latch is back behind there. So I think it goes like that. Locked. open. Okay, here's the moment of truth on the fresh water. That's pretty good. So before I spend a lot of time trying to figure it out, I want to see how this lines up. I just got to get rid of this a little bit at the top. There we go. Okay, simple mod DIY number 2, the Microwear Easy Touch RV thermostat. Okay, last year everybody was telling me how great this was, and I was kind of a slow adopter on this deal because I really didn't have any issues with the OEM Dometic deal, and I thought, well, it's cool, but I don't have any issues, and so if it's not broken, don't fix it. And then when I went to go visit Ronnie, he's like, "Oh, we're doing this." I'm like, "Oh, well, I'm not gonna not do it."
Super simple installation, basically plug and play.
And now I can't live without it.
I did it.
We did it. It really is awesome. And some of the reasons, the things I really like about it is, I think it has a better form factor. On the screen, it'll tell me the outside temperature. It'll tell me the inside temperature, but also tell me the outside temperature. For a lot of people that travel with dogs, this connects to your router, like a little hotspot in your RV, so that you can access it when you're away. So that's a great way you can keep tabs on what the temperature is and adjust the temperature from your phone when you're away. It also, the numbers light up red when it's heating, blue when it's cooling, white when it's just telling you the temperature reading, and then after a few seconds it just goes black, which is good because this is the primary bedroom. So anyway, so for all those reasons, I'm sure there's even more. Oh, I also like the auto setting. I don't know if the OEM version does that or not, but the auto setting's kind of nice because they're cold in the morning and then it heats up. We can turn it to run the heat pump. Like we can set it to 72 and have a little icon for the heat pump and air conditioning. So it'll start off in the morning and it'll run the heat pump, and then like right now, as you can tell, I've been shedding layers, then the air conditioning will turn on. So that's kind of handy too. There we go. Oh, isn't that easy? Plus when you click it in, the little phone cord in the back, then you can see which way is up and which way is down. There you go. So when I put it back in here like this, and I put these two screw holes right here, those two holes get covered up. These two will be exposed, but they have these little clips right here. You get these in different colors, by the way, and then that covers those things up. So speaking of the ordering process, is you'll have to let them know which thermostat you currently have. So when you go on the site, it's pretty user-friendly. You can find your thermostat, and you can order the correct one. So when I reached out to Microwear, and I let them know how much I like this and that I wanted to install it on the Globetrotter, they provided this, just so we're transparent on the partnership relationship. But the other thing that they provided, which I really like, is a promo code so that you can save some money if you decide to do this too. Like I said, I didn't have any issues with this, but I really liked the Microwear. A lot of things about this DIY install that are pretty nice. You see how that has a zip tie here? That lets you know exactly how far away to put them directly across this hole. Just make sure they're level, because that's going to determine if this sits level. That little zip tie that you break off, just make sure it's stretched out all the way, because I could kind of bend it just a little bit. So I had to finagle it, but it looks level, doesn't it?
It's a little night light, and it comes on. You can set it dim or bright, and you can set it on, off, or when it gets dark, it will turn on. So it's very nice, so that if there's movement, you have a little light in the bathroom without waking up the other person in the rig.
Well, and let's face it, in the middle of the night, these lights are blinding.
Blinding bright.
so I'll put it the other way so that the other outlet's open. Yeah.
Put it right in there, and then it's motion censored, it's dimmable, and turns off after a while. So it's not on all night.
No.
Which is really nice.
It's only on for like 30 seconds actually.
Yeah, unless you're moving.
Yeah, and then it'll turn back on. I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah, this was your solution to Caleb waking up in the middle of the night.
That was.
Turning on the light, waking up the whole rig. And you're like, rah!
No, I was like, oh, Caleb, would you mind turning off the light? I know it's 2 in the morning and you're just going to bed, but you know, Mom and Dad are waking up in only another 3 to 4 hours.
Yes. Yeah, that's how you said it. Yeah.
The other simple DIY that I wanted to do now, but I didn't have the measurements, was the snap pads. So I need to go measure our stabilizing feet, and then they also have a snap pad for the tongue jack foot, which is round. So I need to make sure I get all the right sizes.
That.
I like to put on snap pads as soon as you get an RV, because the stabilizing feet can get a little
wonky.
Yeah, and these already are. So, and the wonkier they are, the more difficult it is to get them on. But you could also, and what I'll probably have to do, is unscrew them, use a mallet, flatten them out, then use some Dawn soap, put them on.
So we should go
Or snap it. You think you just snap it on?
Wow, man, that should be their name or something.
Can you believe I don't even need the keys to do this? Isn't that great?
Ta-da!
Wow. We got a little repair right here.
When you're in a storage lot, they almost always, and many RV parks do, require you to use jack pads, stabilizing jack pads. So one of the reasons I like snap pads is you don't have to really worry about it. Now, in many cases, I'll use leveling blocks anyway, just to keep the snap pads from getting dirty. But when you're on asphalt or concrete, it's cool, and it's relatively flat. I can just lower them. It's just one less thing to worry about. So, these are...
I gave you your phone so you could take a picture.
That's great. 5.5.
Our Globetrotter is a 2020 and didn't come with smart TVs. So if you want to stream Netflix, Amazon, or YouTube, you need to add an Apple TV or something similar and connect it to the HDMI cable in your RV. Or just replace the TV with a smart one, and the only thing you'll need is an outlet.
I think the reason I chose this is because they're a little bit thinner. You see that?
Yeah.
No?
I'm good.
You don't need any help.
No help. Don't need directions either. That was a bit harder than I thought because these screws were not compatible. They're the right size, they just need to be longer. Okay, we have just the stock Airstream inverter, and our batteries are kind of low. So I don't know if it's gonna work. Oh, cool.
Hey!
Works. So we have a fair amount of travel this year as we leave Arizona and we go across the country, and we have a whole bunch of different stuff we're gonna be doing. I don't want to list the states, but there's a lot of states before we do our install. So I think it'd be helpful for people to see what you could do with 2 Battleborn batteries. And I think the stock Airstream inverter is like 1200 watts. So like, what can you do with 2 Battleborn batteries, 1 1200 watt inverter? I think we've got like 100 watt panel on the roof. I wanted to talk about power, and what I'm kind of excited might not be the right word. Interested in is, before we get a big battery bank, what information can we provide when our system doesn't have a whole bunch of solar and batteries and stuff like that? I have found this Southguard to be the best thing to use if you don't have an inverter or a big battery bank, because you can charge your laptop, you can charge your cell phones. I think you could probably even plug a TV into this if you really wanted to. You could run your CPAP machine and get you through the night. Might want to look at the size. I think this is the 550. If you're going to run something all night long, you might want to get a bigger one. But I think this is probably the best device to get you off-grid, participating in some Harvest Hosts, Cracker Barrel, stuff like that. And then I mentioned that I've got a couple Battleborn batteries. These are the GC2s that fit in the battery box. So I'm gonna be installing these here soon. Probably just right when we hit the road, I'll put these in. And then I already replaced the converter, but you don't have to. And so that's one of the things I wanted to share, is that you can switch from lead acid to lithium, and you could just change the batteries, and then time, budget permitting, you could replace the converter. And then maybe a battery monitor system would be good, so I want to install one of those. And then, you know, we've got a small inverter, a couple lithium batteries, very little solar on the roof, so I thought that'd be kind of good to share how we're camping off-grid until we go do everything. Did I mention that we're giving these batteries away in May? I think I failed to mention that. We're giving these batteries away in May. So when we do our big install, these two will go into some sort of drawing. We'll have to figure that out. So stay tuned for that. I think that'd be pretty cool. And otherwise, all the links to the stuff we mentioned down below. Look for promo codes, like for the microwear, thermostat. And point of this video is just to kind of like tackle some of the convenient things that we've kind of grown accustomed to that we really like. And so we're going to keep chipping away at the little stuff, and we'll be sharing that with you. And then we're going to keep going with the technical videos this year, which a lot of people have written in and said they really like that stuff. So this year will be some how-to, the technical videos, obviously repairs because we're RVing, travel videos, travel routes. It'll be good. A little bit of family stuff, and Tori's getting married. There's that.
Surprisingly, there's more storage than I thought.
Oh, good.
Yes. So, but it's like the wrong height and depth, but that's okay. I just need to reshape my brain.
Yeah.
So,
reshape your bins.
reshape my bins, exactly. Wow.
You know, this isn't really your territory, so I don't know if you have the same level of excitement.
I do. Being locked out of anything is not fun.
No.
No, and remember when we got locked out of this? So we tried to send Caleb in through the back.
Hello.
You cannot break in the way that I thought you could. So I'm actually happy and relieved to know that, but that was really funny.
Yes. The first 3 screws.
Okay, Mr. Leach.
Trish doesn't understand this.
No, it's not that I don't understand it. I like it. I do. It just needs to be about that big.
No.
I'm not
I want to hear it in the comments down below. I want to know what you keep your loose nuts in, your spare screws, a whole bunch of washers. Trish actually came up to me about 3 weeks ago, and she had this little bag of washers. Oh, these are quarters. And she was like, you don't ever use these. What? So anyway, I want to know what you keep your spare stuff in. But we use Nollins.
Okay, listen.
And that goes right here.
No.
Right there.
Get out of my drawer.
Okay.